Good morning, everybody. I'm Liberty Chan live at Knott's Berry Farm in Buena Park, right in front of the newest ride here. It's called the Windseeker. 60 of these thrill seekers they're going to take to the air. We're going to tell you all about it coming up. Stick around.
The much-anticipated Windseeker ride opened today at Knott's Berry Farm in Buena Park. The ride rises 300 feet into the air, offering thrill seekers a new perspective over the theme park. 32 two-person gondolas climb to the top of the tower. The roller coaster then spreads its metal arms and swings riders for 60 seconds. They actually experience a sense of weightlessness as their legs are left unrestrained. Wow. Windseeker was designed by a company in the Netherlands that's been creating thrill rides for more than 20 years. Looking at it, it doesn't look like it's going that fast, but I can imagine the sensation.
And I can imagine the Dramamine I would need if I were to be on it.
This is Hypocrite 56, and it's about, what time is it? 27th. What time is it? It's about
7 in the morning.
Yeah, 7:06, and I woke up at like 4 to get my ass over here. And we're gonna ride Windseeker?
Yes, we are at Knott's Berry Farm. It's 7 in the morning for a video shoot.
It's basically just a gigantic chair swing gondola in the air, but I mean, it's pretty high. So, I mean, if I fall, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die.
Berry Farm. That's right. They have this new ride that opened up this weekend, and it's a really, really big ride.
Yes, and it is scaring grown men. Liberty Chan is there. Liberty, there you go.
There you are. She's ready. Okay, Liberty, you've done this one time before. We've talked you into doing it again. Just tell me what you can expect. You've already done it. What has experience taught you?
Okay, I gotta say, the Windseeker, tons of fun. It's high. It's 300 feet in the air, and it goes about 25 to 30 miles per hour, so not too fast. So you can definitely come here with kids as long as they're over 4 feet tall. It's fun. You can see everything. You get the sense of weightlessness, and
Liberty?
all of these people here, there's about, yes.
Oh, I think they're ready to go. Let's get you secured in.
We welcome you to the weekend show. We have one rule on the weekend show. Action before information. So please tell them to hit the big green button and let's go.
Let her rip.
All right, here we go. I'm going to give you my mic.
Be sure you are securely fastened, and I believe you need to keep your hands and your arms and your legs inside the car. Oh, there's no car.
No, you take that. You're going to take that. I'm going to go in the air.
Okay.
You pass that over there.
All right, here it goes. The suspense is mounting. Can you feel it?
You know, we should call her on her cell phone. What's your... Oh, I can't answer.
No, her cell phone will fly out of her hand. You can't hear that. Yeah, it's okay. All right, so, of course, the Windseeker opening up this weekend. They're on the countdown to start this. This is riveting television right now, Chris. This is the stuff.
Stand by for action.
Tune in for on a Sunday. There are the other participants.
This does not get better than this.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. This is why we tell you,
eggs for breakfast.
do not leave before 9 a.m. from your home, or you could miss exciting things in the show.
Of course, the guys who are watching the show right now are just curious, like, who's that guy sitting next to Liberty? Is she single? Is she dating?
I just want to know why people are at Knott's Berry Farm at this time. This is very early. Although it's so hot, this maybe is a great time to go and get your rides in.
Do you like the music they play at the Windseeker?
Okay, are they ready for this darn ride? Let's move it along, folks.
We've got all the time in the world. Don't worry, all the time. Oh!
Okay, there they go. There they go. So they are lifting it up. I think, what, they go up 300 feet? Is that how high?
You know, again, action before information. We don't focus on the specifics. I have no idea what the details are.
I think that information can prove beneficial.
Really?
Yes, I think so. I read that somewhere in one of my journalism books. It's loosely observed here at KTLA.
What is this journalism you speak of?
Well, there she goes. Oh my gosh, this is exciting.
There's so little to the ride. It's very spindly. You know what I mean?
Do you like the rides that go around and around, or do you like the rides that go up and down?
I like them both.
Really?
I love it.
Do you still have the same sort of vibrato, the same sort of, like, you know, machismo to do the really tough rides, or as you get older, do you find out that you're sort of, well, a pansy?
I am. The latter. The pansy variety.
And I wasn't just referring to the amusement rides, my friends.
You know, the thing kind of looks like a giant fan. I bet it kind of cools you off nicely.
Well, when it's 105, I don't know.
Which one's Liberty?
That's very exciting. Which one's Liberty?
See if you can spot Liberty. We'll give you a prize for that.
All right. Well, you know what? This is live TV at its finest. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The Windseeker.
The Windseeker, Knott's Berry Farm. Beautiful.
Okay.
All right. Time now, 8:16. Coming up in today's Bros Bites, we're going to take...
Hey, a thrill ride turns into a 3-hour ordeal at Knott's Berry Farm tonight. The Windseeker broke down, leaving almost 24 riders hundreds of feet up in the air.
KCAL 9 Orange County reporter Stacy Butler is live outside Knott's in Buena Park, where she spoke to those riders. Stacy?
Rick and Sharon Park authorities say that a security system activated around 4 o'clock today, halting the ride halfway up. It was a harrowing 3.5 hours. Riders told me that they were dangling, their legs were numb. They just couldn't believe what was happening.
I'm just happy to be on the ground.
Abby Buccini's knees won't stop shaking.
I kept imagining I was going to fall.
The 11-year-old from Temecula was with her friend Haley.
Yeah, I was really nervous.
At 4 o'clock today, she and her friend became trapped 300 feet up on Knott's Berry Farm's newest ride, the Windseeker. Her mom waited nervously on the ground.
The whole time I was just, praying and worrying, hoping that they were going to come down soon, and thank God, they came down safely.
When I finally touched the ground, I felt like just laying on the floor, just like, thank you.
Jimmy and Donna Garrison were visiting from Maryland when 20 riders became trapped in the gondolas. It's the second time in 2 weeks park officials say they've had problems with the Windseeker.
The reason why we were on there is that he's trying to get me over my fear of heights. So when it stopped, I had a real hard time.
They were on the loudspeaker and they were telling us, don't worry about anything. They're working on the problem.
Luckily, there were no injuries. Everyone got off safe and sound. Now, park officials say that this did happen 2 weeks ago, but they say in that case, when the ride was shut down about 3 hours, it wasn't a malfunction, but an inaccurate reading on an electrical safety switch. No word yet on the cause of tonight's mechanical problems. We're live in Buena Park. Stacy Butler, KCAL 9 News.
What started out as a 60-second thrill ride quickly turned into 3.5 scary hours, stranded 300 feet off the ground for people on this ride at Knott's Berry Farm. Tonight, all 20 riders are safely back on the ground, but they had some extraordinary stories to tell.
Now, as it turns out, this was the second time in just 2 weeks that the same ride, the Windseeker, has stranded passengers. NBC4's Kim Baldonado is live in Buena Park for us tonight. And Kim, do we know what went wrong this time?
Chuck and Colleen, we do know that the ride's safety security system kicked in and made that ride automatically shut down about 4 o'clock. We do not know exactly why. Tonight, Knott's is saying that ride will remain closed while they investigate.
I have a fear of heights, so that first half an hour was a little bit, daunting.
Donna Garrison's fear of heights was put to the ultimate challenge when she and 19 others became stuck 300 feet in the air for 3.5 hours on the Windseeker ride at Knott's Berry Farm.
I really was hyperventilating because I was like, I didn't know if the whole thing would plummet.
It was 4 o'clock in the afternoon when the ride's safety security system activated, causing the ride to come to a halt. Among those stuck, Haley Giacomo, who was celebrating her 12th birthday with her friend Abby.
Did any of you cry while you were up there?
Yeah. About like 5 times each. Yeah, we were pretty scared.
The girls were stuck without their parents and without cell phones, which are not allowed on the ride. Haley's mother watched helplessly from the ground.
I was really nervous and scared. Yeah. After an hour, I started really freaking out.
1 hour turned into 3, with day turning to dusk before the ride made its way back down about 7:30.
The only bad thing was I wasn't facing the sunset, so I had to look around to try and see that.
You seem in good spirits considering what you've been through.
Yeah, I was thirsty, I got a bottle of water, and I got a free T-shirt.
Jimmy Garrison and his wife Donna came to Southern California from Baltimore specifically to attend Knott's Halloween Haunt, which begins on Friday. And yes, they will be there. The Garrisons say they are coming back here on Friday, but they will not be getting on the Windseeker. They and the others who were stranded were offered some Knott souvenirs, T-shirts and sweatshirts, and offered a free dinner. And then all went home. Reporting live from Buena Park, Kim Baldonado, NBC4 News.
People stranded in that ride in Knott's Berry Farm yesterday are still talking about it today. 4 hours almost, 300 feet up in the air in a gondola. This was the second time in just 12 days there was a problem with the Windseeker. Now it's shut down indefinitely while they try to figure out exactly what happened. Orange County reporter Vicki Vargas is in Buena Park with some new information on this. Vicki.
State officials say what happened here last night was totally different from what happened on the same ride earlier this month, and they are launching an investigation. Officials at Cal OSHA say what goes up should come down, but this time it did not. They say the Windseeker was descending from 300 feet in the air when it slowed, then stopped.
I think they did everything possible to get us down as soon as possible. Just for me personally, I would have liked to hear, you know, you're not going to fall.
Donna Garrison and her husband were among 20 riders stuck in the air for nearly 4 hours. You can see her here peering over the edge of her seat.
There's probably a system in there that you release that allows the machine to come down on its own. So, you know, I wasn't concerned about that. The workers were in there frantically trying to get everybody down.
It is the second time the ride has failed this month. The first time, experts say an electrical relay malfunctioned, leaving 15 people stuck for 3 hours. A Cal OSHA spokesman in Oakland tells NBC4 the ride stopped this time when a brake failed.
The fact that the brake froze, I would say, is a mechanical failure. The whole process of releasing the ride so that it comes back down to the ground is a safety mechanism.
Fryer says a maintenance crew had to manually release the brake, then move some counterweights, almost like pulling on the weights of a huge grandfather clock. Jimmy Garrison says he was never scared, and he wears this T-shirt to prove it.
As soon as they get the bugs out, it's a fun ride, and I think it's an amazing view up there.
His wife says she has never been a fan of heights.
Had enough of the Windseeker.
Yeah, I'm not going to tempt fate again.
The fire department admits they would not have had the right kind of equipment to reach those people 300 feet in the air. They could have used a helicopter, but they say that would have been very dangerous. In Buena Park, Vicky Vargas, NBC4 News.
An NBC4 I-Team investigation of Knott's Berry Farm's ride, you know, the one that left 20 people stranded about 300 feet in the air, has turned up some new information on that ride.
The I-Team discovered a state agency had some serious concerns about the ride long before it opened last year. Our investigative reporter Joel Grover has been digging deeper into the safety of these rides. He's here with more on that for us. Joel.
And these were some very significant concerns. The I-Team has obtained this inspection of the Windseeker at Knott's, done by the state last year before the ride opened. In this report, inspectors say the Windseeker was not in compliance with industry standards to ensure that a ride is safe and properly maintained. It was last Wednesday evening that the ride malfunctioned, leaving riders at Knott stranded for hours. This was the second time in 2 weeks that the popular Windseeker suddenly shut down. Now we find Cal OSHA inspectors had to make repeated visits to Knott's in July and August of 2011 to get the park to bring the ride up to industry safety and maintenance standards. A Cal OSHA engineer told me, quote, Knott's just wasn't on the ball in making sure the ride was up to safety standards and that it was a grueling process to get them to comply. Cal OSHA tells me it took 17 inspection visits, that's an unusually high number, to get Knott's to bring the ride up to compliance. We called Knott's for comment. Its spokesperson would only say the ride did meet industry safety standards when it opened last year. And keep in mind, since last week's incident, all 6 Windseeker rides in the U.S. and Canada have been shut down temporarily while the parent company conducts an internal review. So this is a story that is going to continue to unfold.
What about the company that made the ride? Do they have questions for them, too?
The state has a lot of questions for them. The company is called Mondial Rides of the Netherlands. The state in this report slams Mondial, saying that when they were trying to get safety data about the ride to get it opened up, the company was very uncooperative and slow in handing over that data. And I know that state inspectors are now trying to find out if there is a design defect in the ride. So they're really trying to get more answers out of the manufacturers.
Is it possible we could see this ride disappear altogether?
Who knows? But it is going to stay closed while this internal review continues until there's some answers.
All right. And, of course, Joel Grover, as always, will continue on the story for us. Joel, thank you.
The air for nearly 4 hours. The NBC4 I-Team has discovered a pattern of breakdowns involving the same ride at parks across the United States and Canada. It's 6 o'clock. I'm Lucy Noland.
And I'm Chuck Henry. Today we learned some new details about what went wrong yesterday, leaving those 20 people. They were stranded and they were getting very little information from the people at Knott's about how they were going to eventually get down.
First, though, an I-Team investigation into what could be a much bigger problem. Investigative reporter Joel Grover, you've been digging deeply into this one. What have you found?
Well, Chuck and Lucy, state officials are now wondering if there is a design flaw with this ride, since there have been 5 malfunctions of Windseeker rides at 4 different amusement parks in just over the last year, and that is an unusually high number. The rides have only been in park since the spring of 2011. Here's a map showing some of the incidents, or all of the incidents. Since then, the Windseeker at Cedar Point in Ohio malfunctioned because of a problem with the electrical cables. There were other incidents leaving riders stranded at Windseekers in Ontario, Canada, Charlotte, North Carolina, and of course at Knott's Berry Farm. This is what it looks like when you're stuck 300 feet up in the air on the Windseeker. This video was shot by a passenger at Wonderlands Park in Canada when the ride got stuck in 2011.
So we are experiencing a temporary delay at this time.
In this case, workers had to climb up the Windseeker to figure out why the swings holding the people weren't coming down. Riders were stranded for almost 20 minutes.
Hi, we're stuck 300 feet up on Windseeker.
Riders were also stranded on the Windseeker at Cedar Point in Ohio this past June, when there was reportedly a problem with the electrical cables. And in July at Carowinds Park in North Carolina, this Windseeker ride, seen in file video, suddenly stopped working when the ride's security system caused it to shut down, stranding 25 riders like this guy.
All of a sudden when it stopped, everybody just looks at each other and is like, is this part of the ride? You know, I'm just like, no, this ain't part of the ride, something's happening. Everyone is freaking out. People are grabbing each other saying, oh my God, we're gonna die, we're gonna die. Everyone was pretty much just scared to death.
Cal OSHA is now investigating the 2 Windseeker incidents at Knott's Berry Farm this month and the overall safety of this ride. We did try contacting the ride's maker, Mondial Rides of the Netherlands, and Cedar Fair, the owner of all the parks where the Windseekers are located, to try and get comment. We did not hear back from either of them.
Now, what are investigators going to be looking for, Joel?
Well, Cal OSHA investigators tell me they plan to call Mondial Rides in the Netherlands first thing tomorrow morning and question them at length. They want to know if the ride's maker has found any evidence of a design flaw, a design problem that could be causing all those malfunctions. That's really what they want to know.
It's kind of interesting to note that you had video of these other rides that malfunctioned, and yet the people yesterday told us that Knott's Berry Farm took all their cell phones away. They didn't want their cell phones up on the ride, and that's the only way we would get video of what happened.
Well, these people who were actually on those other rides made sure that that video got out and was disseminated.
All right. Thank you very much, Joel. Appreciate that. We'll be interested to hear what you find out.
It's a new name and a new home right here in the Kansas City Metro, but an amusement park ride coming to Worlds of Fun brings a troubled past along with it. Only on 41 Action News, Garrett Hake looked at the ride's safety records. Garrett.
Mark, when the Steelhawk ride opens here next summer, it will change the skyline at Worlds of Fun. Folks from Southern California might recognize the ride. There, it was known as the Windseeker, and it's been shut since an incident 11 months ago. The Steelhawk, a towering 300-foot thrill ride opening at Worlds of Fun next spring, promises to bring guests to breathtaking new heights. But when the same ride was operating in a park in California last fall, it left them there for 3.5 hours.
I really was hyperventilating because I was like, you know, I didn't know if the whole thing would plummet.
I was really nervous and scared. Yeah. I mean, after an hour, I started really freaking out.
At Knott's Berry Farm outside LA, the ride was called the Windseeker. One afternoon in September, the safety system jammed, leaving 20 riders dangling helplessly above the park for hours.
That poor guy's sitting all by himself. Unfortunately, there's really not a lot they can do but wait this out.
A series of similar incidents at other parks led Cedar Fair Entertainment, the parent company of Knott's Berry Farm and Worlds of Fun, to shut down all 6 of its Windseekers while it investigated the problem. 5 have since been reopened. The Knott's Berry Farm ride,
the following attractions are not available at this time. Windseeker
is still closed. But a spokesperson for Worlds of Fun confirmed to 41 Action News that next spring it will get a new start and a new name in Kansas City as the Steelhawk, and said the Dutch-made ride is safe.
Yeah, we were pretty scared.
But folks who remember the riders left hanging on the Windseeker last fall may choose to get their thrills somewhere else.
The swing stopped swinging, so I knew that there was something wrong, and yeah, I was panicked.
We reached out to Worlds of Fun's parent company and to the Dutch company that makes the ride. Neither one of them got back to us tonight, but a spokesperson for Worlds of Fun told us it's common practice for rides to move back and forth between their different parks, and at the other parks where they have the Windseeker ride, it's a very popular attraction. Reporting live, Garrett Hake, 41 Action News.